That's Jade Paulser there coming to us live from Enyogeni. And you're listening to, one of the songs that the maidens sing. They say, Yimi engayikhethela ukuthi ngibe intombi nto. They're saying that this is their choice to be virgins, because ultimately this event is about purity. It's about preserving their virginity. And there have been, of course, concerns that they may be forced into this. And they're saying that no, it is actually their choice, and saying that they're going to really succeed as virgins. And this is one of those events that would have been used over time by the late King Goodwill Zulu as a way of speaking to young women, talking to them about the preservation of their virginity, talking to them about teenage pregnancy. We're seeing stats are soaring now. And let's stay with this particular conversation and bring in Dr Gugu Mazibuko just to talk to us from a cultural expert perspective as to the significance of what this event, what does it mean, and these maidens talking to us about their choices that they're making. Is it something that is of significance as well, because given the conversations that are currently taking place about UMkhosi woMhlanga. Doctor, thank you so much for your time this morning. Let's start with the significance of this event, because a number of people sometimes do not understand why the maidens would be excited to be part of UMkhosi woMhlanga.
Good day, Bongiwe and viewers, and thank you very much for having me. This is such a very exciting moment for the maidens, because for the past 2 years there have been no reed dance because of the reasons that we all know, the COVID, as well as the passing on of the late King Goodwill Zulu. This ceremony is very important. It's one ceremony that the girls, they look forward to it, because it touches upon their integrity, it touches upon their self-respect, their preservation of virginity, abstinence, remaining virgins until such time that they are ready. And also, it also helped them in the fact that they won't fall pregnant at an early stage. It's such a very emotional as well as a good ceremony to them, because they go through a series of training, of classes, of virginity testing, and it is the climax of all the events and also all the teachings that takes place, because it's not only about virginity testing and attending the reed dance, but they also go to classes where they are being workshopped on how to remain a virgin, on how to behave, and also teaching them about the social ills in communities, as well as reporting on anything that they are comfortable with that take place in their lives. So it is every girl's pride to carry the reed and present it to the king.
And I want us to stay with that, because, people often see the maidens carrying the reed, and they don't understand that there's actually a significance to them carrying this reed and presenting it before the king. Let's talk about that particular part of this ceremony.
Okay. One, the reed is sacred amongst Amazulu, because as African communities, we came from the Great Lakes, where the reeds were in abundance. Therefore, that's how we connect to the nature. A reed is very important to us, because even the king is referred to Inkosi yoMhlanga. And we when we refer to ourselves as the Zulu nation, we say woMhlanga. So there is a significance when it comes to the reed, and also when it comes to the maidens, the reed is one call it grass, because at the end of the day, it is used in the palace. It is one significant type of grass that breaks easily, and it is compared to the girl's life, because if a girl can engage in sexual intercourse with somebody, then her virginity will break easily, just like the reed can break easily as well. Therefore, it connects us to the nature. It connects us to our origin, because we emanated from the Great Lakes, where the reeds were in abundance.
And talking about, you know, the reeds, let's talk about then that moment when they have presented them before the king. What happens next, you know, with that? Because some of the viewers today may be wondering that they present them before the king, and then what?
Okay. What happens is that early in the morning, the maidens will go to the river, they bath, and then they come back to the palace. They greet the king, being led by the royal princess chosen by the king to lead the ceremony, because there's one princess that lead the ceremony, followed by other princesses and then the girls. And then they go back and they fetch the reed. They take it up to the palace and present it to the king. After they have presented to the king, it's a whole lot of excitement, a whole lot of a joyous moment, because as I have already mentioned before, that it is the pride of every girl to go through all the processes preceding the actual reed dance ceremony. Therefore, when they have presented, they can go now to the arena and dance and wait for the king to deliver the speech to the maidens as well as the nation, addressing the maidens, motivating them, and also telling them that he's also looking forward to see them the following year. Because if he says he will see them the following year, that what makes maidens to look forward to the next year, remaining virgins. Therefore, it's kind of a motivation, as you have heard when the girls were talking, that I'm a virgin and I'm proud, and no one will take that away from me. Being proud of being a Zulu girl that is a virgin and undergoing through all the virginity testing. So they will wait for the king in the arena, and the king will come and address the maidens.
Now, Dr. Mazibuko, there's also been some concerns, you know, and I'm sure you've heard them as well over the years, that these young maidens, they go through this, you know, the process of virginity testing and all the classes ahead of this particular event, and they get marked with clay spots, and they also get given certificates that they are virgins. Some have suggested that this also then kind of puts to shame those that would have not passed this particular test. Let's talk about that, because there are some who say that you will have some of the young women today who feel that because they did not pass this significant step, then they are pretty much, you know, not worthy of even being looked at by society.
I cannot agree much with that one, because in any other project or in any other gathering, you might find that even when students go to universities, they do their degrees. Some they graduate, some they do not graduate. We cannot say that those who have graduated, they look down upon those who did not graduate, and because it's more or less the same thing as graduating for being a virgin, because it's one's choice to remain a virgin. But then those things that Onomehlo they do are the rewards for the girls, and also the motivation. That is why I compare this with a graduation, because graduations are also motivating those who have not yet graduated to graduate as well.
And there have been, over time, comparisons that are drawn between the reed dance, Eswatini, and here. And for someone who doesn't understand the similarities and the differences as well, let's talk to them about that.
There's not so much differences, because the base is the same. I mean, the aim of the reed dance is abstinence, is to make sure that the girls, they preserve their virginity, they are safe from sexually transmitted disease, HIV and AIDS. It's all the same. But because AmaZulu and AmaSwati are two different nations, though we are all the Ngunis. So there will be very slight differences in terms of the song that they sing, in terms of the attire that they wear, but the aims and the objectives of the reed dance are more or less the same. It's just that it's two different nations with two different monarchs, but however, they will differ slightly. And remember, King Goodwill Zwelithini Zulu revived this ceremony together with Queen Mantombi, who was a former Swati princess. Therefore, there are very slight dissimilarities.
And Dr. Mazibuko, I tell you, I'm sure the viewers are enjoying this, cultural lesson that we are all getting here. And thank you so much for that. Let's talk about, one thing we can't run away from, though, Dr. Mazibuko, is that this is one of those events that's seen as one that, the AmaZulu nation are bestowing their faith and their hopes on the king. And it's symbolic, when it comes to saying that we recognize that you are ruling over us. It's happening against the backdrop of what we've seen happening over time. There's now, the battle of the throne is intensifying. Even yesterday, we're seeing disruptions at the Enyogeni Royal Palace, for example. Let's talk about then, that, because this is all happening against that backdrop.
Yeah, it's so sad that the battle is still continues, though the king is already on the throne. But it's something that is not inevitable, and it's something that is not surprising, because where there are differences, you will see what we have witnessed. But however, we are hoping that the ceremonies like this, that's where you see the support that the king has, because no one thought this reed dance will be successful as we are witnessing it. So these are the things, sometimes people may not say anything, but the actions, they speak louder, because you can see that girls are excited, Amabuto are there in support of the king, and girls are also looking forward to listen to the king. And more importantly, this is the first time girls are presenting the wreath to the new king, Misuzulu KwaZulu-Natal, and therefore we know that the dust will settle down at some stage. But however, what we see now is telling us a lot that the king has all the support of the Zulu nation.
And, you know, staying with that issue of support, it's also going to be important and quite key then to see even today, while we talk about the support of the nation, but also the support within the family.
Yes. Well, the king is the head of the royal family and the head of the Zulu. So even from Ungena Esbayeni, we have seen princes and princesses, as well as the senior royal family members in attendance. Therefore, we cannot expect 100% at the moment, 100% support. But as time goes on, the king, as the leader of the royal family, as well as the leader of the nation, will make sure and will do his best to unite the royal family, because he's the only head of the royal family. So this is not the first time. Remember, it has happened even with the past Zulu monarchs. So we know as AmaZulu that at some point in time, dust will settle, and the king, the nation will be united, the royal family will be united.
And let's then also talk about, you know, the palace at which this ceremony is taking place, Enyogeni. And we even saw statements ahead of this from Prince Simagade saying that, you know, coming to this palace is an act of provocation. And, you know, you're also seeing the heightened security. But at the back of all of that is the significance of this particular palace, and thus symbolizing just how important this event is.
The Enyogeni Palace is referred to Enyogeni Traditional Palace because of its architect, as well as its location, because the first reed dance took place at Osuthu. Enyogeni is under the area which is called Osuthu in KwaNongoma, and therefore it is very significant that this reed dance, it takes place at Enyogeni because there is also a big arena at Enyogeni that can accommodate quite a number of maidens, and also it was also there are some preparations, and also the things that were put in that palace to make sure that when the maidens arrive and they are at Enyogeni, they are well catered for in a big setting. Therefore, it's very important. And what also is important is that now that the king is on the throne, the king is in charge, as I have said, is in charge of the royal family, is the head of the royal family, is the head of the nation, and also is the head of all the royal palaces, is the one who is looking after the royal palaces and in charge of the royal palaces. So he is at a liberty to choose any palace to conduct any ceremony.
Ma, I'm going to ask us just to pause for a second. Please don't go away. I'd like us to listen to what exactly is happening now. Let's take a listen in as we're seeing those maidens there. These are live visuals coming to us from the Enyokeni Palace as we are still in conversation with cultural expert Dr Gugu Mazibuko. Ma, this is more than about just ukloba as we are seeing intombi doing. I mean, one is looking at the attire and as they say, ngesizulu yodela wenusu lapho. It's really just more than about that. And it's just such a, you know, an important moment in history.
Hey, Bongi, and emotional too. They are now going to present their wreath to the king, and very excited. Can you see the mothers that are accompanying the girls? They are called onomehlo. They are the ones who are looking after the girls. So there is no other girl that can come from anywhere and join. See, onomehlo, they are with the girls as they come from different regions. They are watching them and they make sure that they are safe, and also they behave according to what they have taught them in their different regions. So look at the excitement. Girls are extremely excited that I'm now holding my wreath and I'm going to present my wreath to my king. Imagine.
And, you know, as you say, it's probably an emotional moment for all Mama Lapayana, because they are thinking about the culmination of the work that they would have done over time. Let's talk about the significance of their role and the teachings that they would have imparted to these maidens for them to get to this particular moment. What are some of the conversations that take place?
Onomehlo, Bongiwe and viewers, they are the mothers who are looking after the girls. In fact, they are like their own mothers. And these onomehlo, they are workshopped extensively on how to deal with maidens, on what to teach maidens. There is a curriculum that they use when teaching the girls that is common to all of them, because they also need to be workshopped and also to be taught on how to be confidential with certain issues, because we all know that virginity testing goes with a lot of confidentiality. Therefore, they take the girls to classes and they educate them on how to abstain, on how to remain virgins, on how to have self-respect, even how to behave in their different homesteads. Therefore, they play a major role as onomehlo. Without them, there can be no order that we see. That is why each and every region or whatever, they are onomehlo looking after the girls, so that amantombazane are not woMhlanga kaZalusile. So they play a major role, but they are also going through workshops and they also pass the information to the girls and they educate them.
And you talk about woMhlanga kaZalusile. For someone who doesn't understand, it means a law unto yourself. So basically, these young women are going to, you know, really be watched very closely. And Ma, on our screens, we are seeing, you know, oh, Baba, we're seeing Amabuto. Let's talk about their presence here. And you know, for someone who is trying to understand, why would they be here at an event, Yamachinchi?
Okay. No, thank you very much, Bongiwe and viewers. The wreath dance ceremony is a nation's ceremony. As you can see, it's not only the girls, but you can see Amabuto, you can see the nation, different people coming here. And what is important about Amabuto? Amabuto ayingubo yeNkosi yesilo. When the king is anywhere, is going anywhere, he is always surrounded by Amabuto, because Amabuto ayingubo yobukhosi. So when the king addresses the maidens, the entire nation, including Amabutho, will be there, because the king will not only touch upon the things that affect the girls only, but he will also touch upon the social ills, whereby each and everyone who is attending the reed dance ceremony will take home and see his role in making sure that these girls, these maidens are blossoming, because they are the flowers of the nation, as you can see them. Therefore, that is why we have Amabutho, we have the nation as well, everyone in attendance in the reed dance. Therefore, there will be no Zulu traditional ceremony without Amabutho, as the king is always surrounded by Amabutho. That is why he formed regiments. When the other regiment is older, there is a new regiment coming in, because Amabutho ayingubo yobukhosi.
And